Welcome back, Manchester United fans. Tonight we dive into massive breaking news surrounding Antoine Semenyo, as United officially present their contract proposal after a secret meeting with his agent. But there's a twist. Liverpool are still leading the race and the Red Devils must act fast before the deal slips away. We also analyze the fullback dilemma between Mazraoui, Dalot and Dorgu, and why Semenyo's versatility makes him a perfect fit for Ruben Amorim's system. Plus, we break down the £250 million recruitment overhaul, the impact of Mbeumo, Sesko and de Ligt, and the harsh truth about United's worst signing since Antony and Sancho. And that's not all. We look at the worrying decline of Manuel Ugarte, now labeled a struggling £50 million misfire, and why INEOS may already be preparing another midfield rebuild. This is a packed update, transfers, analysis and major squad decisions, so make sure you watch until the end. Antoine Semenyo. United present their contract proposal. Noussair Mazraoui is more of a traditional fullback than a wingback, while Patrick Dorgu remains a raw talent who needs further nurturing. Diogo Dalot is neither here nor there. Ahmad fits the head coach's system due to his attacking talents and his defensive diligence. Antoine Semenyo of Bournemouth also fits the bill, with the Ghanaian being devastating in attack, as seen from his 6 goals this season. Antoine Semenyo receives United's offer. He can play as an attacking midfielder as well as a wingback, a position he has occupied in the past. As relayed by Team Talk, the Red Devils are genuinely interested in completing a deal for the 25-year-old in January. A contract proposal has already been submitted to the Ghana international's agent after a secret meeting took place between club officials and the player's entourage. However, as things stand, Liverpool seem to be in pole position. According to sources that Manchester United has made a move for Antoine Semenyo, presenting a contract offer to his agent. Reports confirmed that a meeting took place on Wednesday between United officials and the agent, signaling their interest. Liverpool in pole position. However, it's important to note that United isn't the front-runner for his signature. The talks are still ongoing, but Liverpool is currently leading the race, having made the most progress in negotiations. Manchester United still have a few advantages in this transfer battle. Bournemouth's technical director, Simon Francis, is known to be a United supporter, and insiders believe he could quietly push the deal in their favor. On top of that, Dean Holden, Semenyo's former coach and a close figure in his career, has reportedly offered to help United bring the Ghanaian star to Old Trafford. But even with these helping hands, United must move quickly. INEOS still doesn't know how much spending power they'll have in January, and Semenyo's contract contains a £65 million release clause that becomes active early in the window. That clause drops to £50 million in the summer, but United can't afford to wait, not with Liverpool currently ahead in the negotiations and moving aggressively. There is a feeling that Manchester United's recruitment has turned a corner this season, even with Ruben Amorim's side still languishing in mid-table in the Premier League. Bryan Mbeumo, for instance, has already scored 6 times for the club, while Sen Lamens has tasted defeat just once in his first 6 games in the sticks. More is expected of both Matheus Cunha and Benjamin Sesko, who have scored only 3 goals between them, yet there have certainly been reasons for encouragement, not least the Brazilian stellar showing away at Anfield. That almost £250 million quartet have made an impact, no doubt about it, with the INEOS regime looking to have learned from the mistakes of the previous summer, and those that came before them. Sancho versus Antony. Who was the worst signing? The beauty of Mbeumo is that the former Brentford man signed for around £71 million, has hit the ground running. He is delivering what supporters would have hoped for and more. That certainly hasn't been the case for United forwards of the recent past, with far too many expensive gambles having backfired, not least in the case of Jadon Sancho and Antony. Starting with Sancho, the £73 million man was courted for over a year before arriving in the summer of 2021 for what looked like a knockdown price at the time, having chalked up 107 goals and assists in 137 appearances during his first spell at Borussia Dortmund. Hampered by an ear infection, the Englishman never really got going right from the off, in truth, overshadowed too by the subsequent capture of Cristiano Ronaldo. After such a drawn-out saga, there was a muted excitement when Sancho did arrive, while he subsequently produced mere moments of quality, including the opener in Erik ten Hag's first win against Liverpool. The 25-year-old, now on loan at Aston Villa, has been truly forgettable, while Antony's 2022 signing remains regrettable, with United forking out £86 million on a player who was valued at around £25 million just a year or so earlier. A Ten Hag favorite at Ajax, the mercurial Brazilian did score in his first 3 league games, but that was about as good as it got in Manchester for the much-maligned left-footer. Two statement goals did follow that season against Real Betis and Barcelona in the Europa League, albeit with that only heightening the belief that he is more suited to a league like La Liga, where he is currently thriving. He did at least have those moments, alongside his FA Cup strike against Liverpool, perhaps giving him the edge in the wooden spoon battle with Sancho, not least with expectations having been quite so high for the ex-England international. Miserable marquee moves have of course followed since, but INEOS might well have made the worst of them. Man Utd's biggest waste since Antony and Sancho. £70 million might have been spent on Casemiro in that same summer as Antony's arrival, but for all his flaws, the aging midfielder is still an important figure for Amorim. Rasmus Højlund at £72 million is another questionable, costly deal of recent times, although the Dane did at least finish his first season as the club's top scorer in all competitions. Looking back to last summer too, the investment in Matthijs de Ligt is beginning to bear fruit, while, despite a shaky showing against Everton, Leny Yoro still looks destined to be a star of the future. The same, unfortunately, cannot be said of another high-profile capture from that INEOS-led window, in the form of £50 million man Manuel Ugarte. Now, the merits of selling Scott McTominay can continue to be debated, although the real issue is that having sold the Scotland star for £26 million, the club then spent almost double on what only looks to be a downgrade in the midfield ranks. Indeed, while McTominay has gone to secure Ballon d'Or nods and Scudetto triumphs, Ugarte has remained a polarizing presence at Old Trafford, having struggled right from the off following his arrival from Paris Saint-Germain. Neglected by Ten Hag, the reunion with Amorim initially looked set to be a fruitful one for the Uruguayan, having memorably put in a standout showing at Anfield in January. Just 4 months later, however, the 24-year-old was merely an unused substitute in the Europa League final, having reportedly been given a dressing down by Amorim at Carrington in the wake of that defeat. Like Donny van de Beek before him, even linking up with a former manager hasn't helped to spark his United career into life, with Ugarte again notably overlooked during Monday's defeat to Everton. In the words of his manager, the £120,000 per week flop is struggling right now, with his woes on the ball particularly evident. You can sense a lot of very good players come here and sometimes they struggle, Amorim said. He is struggling at the moment, but it is our job to try to help him to feel like I felt when he was a Sporting player. But it is a different world. He needs to adapt and he needs to improve, especially in training. Among midfielders in Europe's top 5 leagues this season, he ranks in just the bottom 15% for progressive passes and the bottom 20% for progressive carries per 90 as per FBref. The £50 million man, who has 2 goals and 6 assists in 55 games for the club to date, has only actually started 2 league games this season, with Amorim favoring the experience of Casemiro ahead of him in that midfield too. Entering what is a pivotal second season for Ugarte, he is showing no signs of being a player for the long term at Old Trafford, with midfield improvements drastically needed in 2026. To have forked out such a substantial fee for a truly limited player, one described as embarrassing earlier this season by journalist Alex Turk, reflects poorly on the INEOS regime, with the struggling asset already heading the way of Antony and Sancho as a notable transfer misfire. And there you have it, Reds. Antoine Semenyo has officially received Manchester United's contract proposal, but Liverpool remain in pole position. United must move fast, especially with his release clause active in January. From Mazraoui and Dalot's uncertain roles, to the rise of Mbeumo and the continued struggles of Ugarte, it's clear that INEOS has improved recruitment, but major mistakes still haunt the squad. Whether United can secure Semenyo, reshape the midfield, and avoid another Sancho-Antony-style disaster will define their season. If you enjoyed the update, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss the latest Manchester United transfer news and analysis. See you in the next video. Glory, glory Man United.